So moving on to step 2, the rear gearbox. You're going to find these pieces are going to end up coming off of parts tree B, which you can see it says B right there. So I grabbed those off of there. And then for the parts that you need, screws and hardware, they're all going to come out of parts bag A, as we talked about earlier. And all of the screws came out of this bag that was in parts bag A. And again, just so you can see, if I put that right on the image, it's a perfect fit. So we know we've got the right screw. Those are the MA5s. And these here are, you'll notice that in parts bag A, it comes with a bag that's got all of these plastic white bushings. Well, as we know, we're replacing those with bearings. So I have pulled out the 2 that we need for that. So to start building this, you'll notice that we're going to grab our ball differential from before, but it's also now saying remove the, the gearbox joint, because we don't need that for this step, which is fine. So we're going to take that out. We don't need it. And you can see that we're going to end up sliding it into here, just like that. And then the 2 bearings, I mean, you can see here, the 2 bearings here are fitting into this housing right here. So between the 2, you've also got these bearings that are going to sit on either side. Now, we got to grease this up, but we're not doing the ball differential anymore. We are using the regular Tamiya grease now to grease up this gear. So let's go ahead and do that first, and then we'll put the rest together. So I've grabbed our Tamiya grease, and now we're going to grease up this gear. And again, I don't mind being liberal with the grease. It's usually better. It's better to have more or too much than not enough. But of course, don't go crazy, because we're going to need this grease later on for other gears too. But I'm happy to give it as much as I can. So now that we've greased this all up, we're going to put this into here, and we've got our bearings. Now you'll notice here it shows to grease them. Well, that's because we have the plastic bushings in the kit, but we're using the ball bearings, and I do not tend to grease up ball bearings. I never have. I've never had any problems not doing that. So I just put in the ball bearings. We don't have to worry about greasing them up. So then we take this end plate B4, and you can see that's going to sit right over top like that. And we then are going to take these MA5 screws and screw them into the 4 holes. And we're going to tighten them all up, but what I find I prefer to go around and tighten each section a little bit, just to make sure that the footing for the screws is correct, nothing's binding. And then we know that they're all properly in place. And they seem to be okay. So I can continue to go around and just tighten them up as we go along. And I'm not going to over tighten them because they are tapping screws, but I'm certainly going to make sure that they're fully tight. And you can feel when they pull. So there we go. That is on. So that is the end of step 2 for putting together the rear gearbox. So the next thing we'll be working on is attaching the pinion gear to the motor.